I apologize. I don't. What do you want? Oh, did you already grab your I don't got no supper tonight. Did we get supper?
I made lunch stuff, remember?
Oh, the breakfast crap. All right. Okay. I'm sorry.
Are you done?
Yeah. I don't know. Are you leaving?
All right, that's enough of that. What's up, turtle cult, sex cult people? How's everyone doing tonight? Good, good, excellent. Do me a favor, keep me posted on that Celtics game. Looks like we're up 10 points with 4 minutes to go. Not too shabby with no Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum has only scored 7. He's having a bad night. Keep me posted on that. The two hottest teams, well, not the hottest teams, but probably the two right now best teams in the NBA, the Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets. But of course, they have no Durant, so keep me posted on that game. Hopefully, we pull that out. But anyway, I thought that was the cold. I honestly think I might have coronavirus. I might. I have a whole thing over there of test kits. I won't use them. On principle, I will never get tested for COVID again. I always said that. I don't care because getting tested for COVID is an admittance that there's something special about COVID, and there's just not. It's just a cold, really. It's just kind of like a special cold. Like, that's all it is. But anyway, who's in the house tonight? Let's see who we got here. Who's here? Who's with us tonight? We got AM, Brett B, Turtle Cadet, Christine, Heidi J, Brenda's here. 𝗲𝗶𝗵 𝗧𝗂𝗏, Merica, C Lively, 7 Pounder, Lance, Divine Girl, DNG, Tom G, Martha Jones, and I'm sure other people will roll in here as we go along. But anyway, so yeah, guys, I just want to start off with a quick announcement, right? Kind of like I've come to Jesus moment I've had here. I've officially decided that I'm done with Krusty Van. I'm done. Like it's over. It's over. I won. Like I won. I definitely fucking won. There's really nothing left to do at this point. Besides, obvious, like I'm just gonna let the Kevin Hayden's Suffolk County District Attorney Office take it from there. I mean, I don't even need to confront her anymore. I mean, maybe I will just for fun, but or not for fun, very serious stuff. But it's like, what else? She's tapped out, like she's done. So obviously I do that big stream last night. And about, you guys all watched that, the exposing Andrew Johnson thing. And, usually you get like some sort of reaction from this chick. Usually she's upset or, has a response to it or whatever. Like with this, she appears to just be defeated. Like her spirit, like she's sending me third-party messages through people saying, promising to never mention my name again or talk about personal business of mine ever again. Like she's done. Like I've destroyed her. There's a reason she went live at me at the same time as me last night. And usually people, I'm not watching her shit. But usually people would tell me if I was a topic of the thing. Like people would be like, oh, you got to hear this clip, blah, blah. No mention, nothing. And on Discord today, no mention. I saw a couple people on the Discord today with comments to the vein or like having to do with me. Like they would say, oh, I watched Turtleboy last night, and they would have like an emoji face. Like don't know, an awkward emoji face. Like I don't know how to feel about this one. Because they saw it, and even for them, this was a tough one. Because here's the conundrum therein, right? Before we get started on this tonight. Here's the conundrum therein. Until her kids emails you. Yeah, that will be different. If the kid emails me, that's a little bit different. But the conundrum, and I think that's what she's trying to avoid. The conundrum therein is that these people worship that woman, right? Like, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how many facts I have. They're going to worship her, right? Because they put her on a pedestal like she's Queen Kate and blah, 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 all this nonsense. But what did I expose last night? I exposed that Andrew Johnson routinely kicks the shit out of their queen, right? So if you're them, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? You idolize this woman, and her boyfriend is putting hands on her. That's much worse than anything I've ever done to her. I've never put hands on this woman. He does it routinely. He hurts her kid. And so if you're them, and like this guy's in videos, like he's on the New Year's Eve video. If you're them, how do you feel about this? Like, don't you hate him now more than you hate me? And like, they don't know how to feel about it. So they're like, we can't, like, who am I supposed to be mad at here? So they don't know. They're in this conundrum where they don't know what to do. And I think she recognizes that. And she doesn't want to go there either. She's done. Like, she's tapped out. She's real. And I think she knows that this is the beginning. Like, plenty more where that came from if we want to. But again, I don't want to. When Merb, 2 months ago, asked me, like, do you want to, like, are you willing to ceasefire and never talk to her again? My answer was immediately, sure. Yeah, fuck it. Because I don't care. It's a colossal waste of time. If I had a dime for every time somebody asked me, who's 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗏? Like, when I bring it up, they're like, who's 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗏? I'm like, just a constant reminder of how unimportant this person is and how irrelevant this person is. And like, why am I even spending any time on this person? And it's because of the problems this individual has caused in my life, in my personal life particularly, but also professionally. And if she's tapping out, then mission accomplished. It's over. It's over. Good guys win. She can live in her parallel universe on her YouTube channel and sit there and be a hypocrite and talk about chili cheese fries and whoever the fuck else is the new auditor of the week and do this and knock yourself out. I really have no interest in that world whatsoever. I have an interest in the kind of stories that I do. That would be a tremendous burden off of my shoulder if I never had to think about her again. And if she's tapping out, then mission accomplished as far as I'm concerned. Mission accomplished. Like I said, there's still legal proceedings with Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, but I'm not the victim in that case. It's not technically my fight. I've enjoyed watching her deal with the criminal justice system, finally be held accountable. I will be pursuing the criminal charges against Andrew for assaulting me, but that's because he committed a crime. And that's it. That's it. I have no more interest in drugging off her past. We get it. We all get it. And I think last night's show was kind of like the nail in the coffin. She did not want that to happen last night. That is why she scheduled her stream at the same time of mine. And yeah, for the benefit of her kids, I hope she has tapped out. You know, I don't think she cares about her kids that much, obviously. But yeah, I mean, the whole extramarital affairs thing, it's like, we're done. Like, we're done. So we're moving on. So tomorrow I have a big day. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to Boston to meeting. I'm going to meet up with Billboard Chris in real life and with Nicole Solis, both of who I've had on the show. We are going to be demonstrating at the Boston Common at the unveiling of the Martin Luther King statue, and I am going to try to confront Michelle Wu. That is going to be my goal tomorrow. And there's so much shit I got to ask this woman. So I'm going to be in Boston tomorrow, and I would encourage if anybody else would like to join us. I'm sure Brian Ritchie is already tweeting about it, and all these other losers are tweeting about it. So it's going to be interesting. I'm hopefully going to be doing some streaming from there. And we'll see what happens. Looks like the Celtics are going to win, by the way. So that's great news. All right, we'll close that one out. All right. Awesome. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Let's talk about the topic. We're in Boston, the Boston Common. That is where the unveiling of the Martin Luther King statue is. Because I said, like, Martin Luther King would be on our side. Martin Luther King would be on our side. Martin Luther King would reject anti-racism. He would reject woke ideology. He would reject this separation of the races that they seem to want more than anything. And yeah, like that's it. So, okay. All right. So let's jump into what I want to talk about here tonight. So all over the news today has been the story about our idiot president and his latest fuck up. So we all know what happened. What was it, in August? Like the big scandal with Trump. Again, they can't let this guy go. They cannot let Donald Trump's dead, as far as I'm concerned, politically. He's got no pulse to him. He's got no, it's not 2016 anymore. It's just not the same. He announced, remember when he announced he was running for president? Has there been any juice about that, like whatsoever? I haven't heard much. I feel like it's been well over a month since that happened, and we haven't heard a goddamn word about it. Maybe a couple months it's been. But if you'll recall at that time, hold on, let me bring, I have so many clips here I want to bring up. Okay, let me find it. At the time when this happened, when President Trump had Mar-a-Lago raided by the feds because they thought that there was classified documents there. First of all, he's a former president. He alone has the ability to declassify any document he wants. So classified documents are for, like, you know, documents that could compromise national security, that are only meant for the president's eyes, not for the public's eyes. They're top secret documents, supposed to be taken very seriously. Trump, as a president, he can declassify whatever the fuck he wants to. He took some out. We took them with, they found him in Mar-a-Lago. And they claimed that they were like on the floor. It didn't look like they were on the floor, but that's a different story. And the pearl clutching was real. You guys remember all the pearl clutching that happened with this shit when this happened? A lot of pearl clutching. So let me play here a clip here of President Biden on 60 Minutes talking about these classified documents and how much of a big deal it was to him.
It may compromise sources and methods. By that I mean names of people who helped, or et cetera. And it's just totally irresponsible.
And you don't know what was in those documents?
I have not asked for the specifics of those documents because I don't want to get myself in the middle of whether or not the Justice Department should move or not move on certain actions they can take. I agreed I would not tell them what to do and not, in fact, engage in telling them how to prosecute or not.
When we come back, a surprising answer to the question of whether President Biden will win.
Okay, so that it was a big deal, like a huge deal. And his Attorney General, Merrick Garland, his hired thug, launched an investigation into this, right? And this, they're like, this is, they're talking about arresting him over this. This could be the thing. Like, they wanted it to, some people thought they wanted it so that he couldn't run for president again, Trump. But I don't believe that. I think that they want Donald Trump to run for president because he's the best thing that ever happened to them, right? Like, honestly. So let's see what we got here. Here's a book, right? So I used to be a big reader back in my history teaching days. I have many books in my closet. I stopped reading. I got to read more books. I'm just more of an internet guy now, but I used to just demolish books, especially history books. And one of my favorite writers back in the day was unfortunately this guy. It was I loved this book. This book was called Presidential Courage, and it's by a historian by the name of Michael Beschloss. It's a really good book. It's fucking long. Holy shit. No, it's not that long. 400 pages. Some of these pages are thick. But it was about specific times in history, right? When presidents did something that took a lot, like that went against the grain and were kind of like going out on the limb and took a chance. So there's all these different chapters in here, Truman, Nixon, all these people. And so I'm reading this book. I remember reading this book and being like, I thought this was fair. Like, it's like Republican, Democrat, this guy's a historian, so he treats we can trust people like this to accurately report on history. And then Donald Trump became president, and I started seeing more and more of 𝗏𝗍𝗏 on TV, and he's fucking insane. He's absolutely insane. This is and it makes me wonder about who's going to write. When we talk about the media, what we should be talking about is the historians. Like, when we all die, how is this all going to be written? Like, is the truth going to be told? Or is it going to be some communist lies about what actually happened, whatever? So let's bring up here a clip from 𝗏𝗍𝗏 talking about these classified documents in Mar-a-Lago.
With us, Aidan.
This is very serious with his little office there.
Other plans for the discussion that you and I were going to have tonight, but one of our producers found something you tweeted at 3 p.m. today, and you wrote, "What if a classified document on U.S. handling of nuclear weapons or names of CIA agents was given or sold by or stolen from an ex-president who had stashed it in his basement?" This was several hours before the reporting about the fact that the documents might have been having to do with nuclear stuff. What were you thinking? Because you were postulating something that, as an historian, you would have said that would be really bad if that happened.
Right. I'm sure not Nostradamus. And what this was really, I was trying to think, what is conceivably about the worst thing we could find in those documents? And by the way, we're talking tonight, as you know, Ollie, you and I agree, about a news report, not evidence yet, but we will soon know one way or the other. And if Donald Trump kept in his basement or somewhere else illegally classified documents with nuclear secrets, and then, we don't know this yet, and we may never learn it, and then pass those to potential enemies of the United States that could have been terrorists, hostile foreign governments. I'm just trying to think what would be the worst case. Those could be used to kill our children, us Americans. That is about the worst thing that a president can do. We're a long way from learning that he did do that, but if we're trying to think as Americans, what is our maximum exposure tonight, that's what it is. And we're going to have to find out fast. There's a deadline tomorrow, 3 p.m., as you've reported, for that search warrant to come out. It's essential that we see that search warrant before or after 3 p.m. tomorrow. And it's essential that we find out what these documents were. If they were nuclear, if they were something of that degree of gravity, this goes from being a documents case to a case of espionage, or even conceivably, I hate to even say this word, treason.
It is a remarkable development, and I'm glad that we have you here. I'm sorry that you were even possibly close to being right in your tweet this afternoon, because this is pretty serious. Michael, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
That's too good.
Historian, and might I say, worth following on Twitter.
Oh my God, that I gotta play that last part there. That is too good. Listen to how serious they're taking the. Dude, it's fucking serious, man. This is serious shit. Classified documents in Mar-a-Lago. Kids are gonna die. Nuclear Armageddon. Bad people are gonna get their hands on it. Let's watch just the seriousness of it all and their faces. Like, how do these people look in the mirror? Like, how do they take themselves seriously? There's no way they can believe this.
You here. I'm sorry that you were even possibly close to being right in your tweet this afternoon.
Same here. Same here. I regret to inform you that we are all going to die any day now. This is really bad news.
Because this is pretty serious. Michael, thanks for your time tonight. We
really
appreciate it. Michael 𝗏𝗍𝗏 is an NBC News presidential historian. And
he said something about what else did this guy say? He said something about right before the election about our children, something about our children, like, will democracy be here for our children? Oh, this is it.
From now, if historians are allowed to write in this country, and a historian 50 years from now, if historians are allowed to write in this country, and if there are still free publishing houses and a free press, which I'm not certain of, but if that is true, a historian will say what was at stake tonight and this week was the fact whether we will be a democracy in the future, whether our children will be arrested and conceivably killed. We're on the edge of a brutal authoritarian system, and it could be a week away.
I can't believe I ever read this dude's book. I love this book, man. It's really sad to see it. It's real. I liked this book a lot. It was a good book. But God damn it, Donald Trump destroyed these people's goddamn brains. Like, dude, what do you say there? Our children are going to die if there is a free press. Like, this was the day before the day of the midterm election. And basically what they're saying there is, like, if the Democrats don't have complete power over everything, your children are going to die. Like, I can't believe I took these people seriously. Like, it makes me wonder about everything, doesn't it? About the way history is written. When you hear, like, these are just people, and they're writing down, like that's how he will write history, and it will be read 200 years from now. Like, that's crazy that people think like that. How long ago did he write this book? I mean, it was a good book, man. I mean, it covered, look, it's on the side of it. It's like, you know, there's Lincoln, Washington, Reagan, he's a Republican, Harry Truman, and it's about like how, like Teddy Roosevelt, like, what is this one? Don't worry that I've lost my bearings. It's about how, basically Ronald Reagan, like these little anecdotes about how Reagan won the Cold War and shit and like didn't back down. Like, basically, what if they didn't do this? Here's what could have happened. And I really enjoyed it. I love shit like this. I loved reading about history back in the day. I should do it more often. But now I wonder about who's writing it. Now I wonder about who's writing it when I see shit like this. So obviously what they're doing here is like, this is a big freaking deal, man. Like, classified documents, can't leave them around. Can't leave them around. It's the biggest fucking deal. Well, then what happens? Obviously, if you've been paying attention to the news in the last 48 hours, a whole bunch of classified, when Joe Biden was the vice president, he apparently took some classified documents home with him. And they're just finding them all over the place now. And they're reporting to the attorney generals. At first, it was just a couple. But now they keep popping up everywhere. And the best one happened today. And let me pull up. Actually, I got my mom's texting me right now. I got to get coverage tomorrow. So hold on. I just got to, sorry. Doing a broadcast right now. For Turtle Club. Okay. All right. Somebody's got to get the kids off the bus tomorrow when I'm in Boston. All right. Anyway, back to this whole thing. Yeah, so they've got 3 so far. There will be more. There will absolutely be more. So let's bring up what happened today. Let me get the clip. I have so many good clips here. The Biden clip. Oh, before we do the Biden clip, yo, check this clip out. You guys see this? Dude, what's up with Prince Harry? What is this dude's deal? It's fucking creepy. Check this out.
This was oscillating.
Oh, yeah, check the. I thought this was a joke. This is real. I fucking hate Prince Harry. Like, talk about cuck. This dude's the biggest cuck in the world. And Meghan Markle, I fucking hate her so much. Ugh. Check this out. Like, this is from some sort of podcast that they're doing, or like, I think this is from his book. Listen to this shit.
My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
What?
I'd been trying some home remedies, including one recommended by a friend. She'd urged me to apply Elizabeth Arden cream. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry. Trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time.
What?
I felt as if my mother was right there in the room.
What?
Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
What? What the fuck was that? Anybody know, like, what? He's talking about his dick, and he's putting some type of cream on it. His todger, they call it, I guess, in England. And apparently his mom used to use some shit to, like, I don't know, do something, and he puts it on his dick. And he while he's putting something on his dick, he's imagining Princess Diana in the room watching him put shit on his dick, which is just yikes. Big yikes. Okay. All right, so let me get the clip here. Hold on. The Biden clip from today. If you didn't see it yet, what you're gonna see is the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen. I had it queued up. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, check this out. So they find a bunch of documents with Biden. And then today, they find out that he's got a bunch at his home in Wilmington, Delaware. And they ask him about it because it's just like Ed, I've never seen an answer. I've never laughed so hard in my life when I said, dude, this is the funniest shit. It's hard. Like I researched, like before the show, I did some research. Like the topic of the show tonight was supposed to be like comparing Biden's, what he says right here, to like great presidential gaffes of all time and fuck ups. And really nothing compares to that. I mean, the only one that compares to it was Trump because he said a lot of dumb shit too. George Bush said dumb shit, but it was always like he would always just fuck up the delivery and say the wrong thing, right? And like there's no video of before like the 30s or 40s. So we didn't even have any of their fuck ups, but they never talked this much. Presidents didn't used to talk this much because there was no TV or anything like that. And so it was all in print, everything that they would say. But this, man, this was something special. Let's just play this clip.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President,
Okay.
classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage.
What?
Okay, so
What?
It's not like you're sitting out in the street.
Wait a minute. So he's keeping these documents in his garage. And that's what they find out. And they're like, no, it's cool. My Corvette's in there too. My Corvette. And so it's okay. Because we locked the door. He protects his Corvette, right? So he's going to, like, that was his excuse. Is my Corvette's in there too? This dude driving it. This dude can drive? That's wild. It's dangerous.
But at any rate,
It was in a locked garage.
yes, as well as my Corvette.
As well as my Corvette.
But as I said earlier
Look at
this week,
𝗬𝗎's face.
people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously.
Oh, yes, very
I
serious.
also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents from my time as vice president were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas and file cabinets in my home and my personal library. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn. This was
What?
done in the case of the Biden Penn Center.
Like he's reading off of a fucking script here. He's not even reading a teleprompter, and he can't say it right. Like this was pre-written, obviously, and like reviewed by lawyers and everything, and he still can't deliver it right. The one time he goes off the cuff, it's just like, dude, it's next to my Corvette, baby. Obviously, I'm not gonna fuck around with my Corvette. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. You can't get past the locked garage door, God knows, in Wilmington, Delaware.
The Department of Justice was immediately, as was done, the Department of Justice was immediately notified, and the lawyers arranged for the Department of Justice to take possession of the document. So we're going to see all this unfold. I'm confident. Thank you very much.
Oh, dude. Dude, they're all like, all of them are like, we have so many fucking questions. He's like, I'm out of here. This is way too much pressure for me. I didn't sign up for any of this shit. And it's been a bad week for them in general. It's been a bad week. In case you didn't see yesterday, this is kind of like politics night on Turtleboy. But yesterday, every plane in the country was grounded, and it's never happened. Like the planes just run. Like I understand there's delays and stuff like that, but the whole freaking sky was grounded yesterday. because our transportation department is run by an equity guy. That would be Mayor Pete. You know, what is the first thing you think of when you think of Mayor Pete? Like, I mean, we're on delay here, so you're not going to answer this for like 20 seconds more. But I know what the answer is going to be. The first thing you think of is he's gay, right? Like, which means he blows dudes and he's either a top or a bottom. That's what that means. And so somehow that's the guy who's in charge of our transportation. That's the only thing you know about him. That's his only qualification, is that he's just he sucks dick. But he's the first one. He's the first one to openly admit out loud that he blows dudes. Therefore, he's qualified to do this. But that's not the real reason he's that's only half the reason that he's the transportation secretary. The more important reason he's the transportation secretary, if we recall, in 2020 or 2019, whatever, who won the New Hampshire primary? Who won the Iowa caucus? Who won those? Who won the two most important first races? Oh, yeah, Mayor Pete did. He won both of them. He had all the momentum in the world. And I believe he won Nevada as well. He was on fire. And you know who wasn't getting second place in any of those? Joe Biden. You know who's getting second place in all of them? Bernie Sanders. And the way it was looking was that it was going to be Buttigieg against Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, at one point, I remember looking at the odds, he was the Las Vegas favorite to win the nomination, which to me was unheard of. I'm like, Bernie fucking Sanders is going to win this? He's the radical. And I think it was like a day or two before the South Carolina primary, or was it Super Tuesday? Biden won the South Carolina primary. That was like his first win, and everyone knew he was going to win that because South Carolina is a very African-American state for the Democratic Party. And little secret here, a lot of people don't know about, is that demographic isn't as embracing of Mayor Pete's awesomeness and what makes him special as white Democrats in New Hampshire and Iowa are. Basically, black people are not impressed by the fact that you blow dudes. They're not. Like, for whatever reason, black Democrats love establishment guys. They love the establishment. They'll just keep voting for the establishment. It's weird. They're the most solidly, like, they're going to vote for Hillary. They didn't even vote for Obama at first. The black guy running for, they wanted Hillary. And they wanted Biden because he represents, they know what they're getting. They trust people like him. They trust the Clintons. They trust fucking establishment Democrats. They don't want fucking Mayor Pete, this gay guy from South Bend. No, thank you. No, thank you. And so what happened, I think it was like a day or two before Super Tuesday, after Biden had a little momentum, he won South Carolina, which everyone knew he was going to do. What happened? Right on cue, Amy Klobuchar and Mayor Pete drop out of the election. They just drop out. And they immediately endorse Joe Biden, who they were beating. At least Buttigieg was beating him. And he just drops out. And he endorses Biden. And wouldn't you know it, the momentum swings towards Biden over Bernie now. I mean, it was all done to fuck Bernie Sanders over. The party didn't want Bernie Sanders to be the nominee because they know he's not even a Democrat. Technically, he's a communist. They all are, but he declares it. And they realized that they just like, well, this guy's going to give a better shot at winning, Biden. So we need to eliminate all these other people and just everybody's got to get on board with Biden. And they did. And then he was rewarded with this job that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Now, he does have his MBA, which to me means shit. MBA talk is, let's just hear what Mayor Pete had to say, because this is another one of the great fuck-ups. You got to hear this speech that he gave yesterday. It's like, how is this real? Let me play this back. This dude's just such a fucking fraud, and I hate him so much. And watch, he'll become president too. Ugh.
The next 5 years.
Check this out.
we need for the next 5 years to make sure that FAA has everything that they need in terms of systems, resources, and staff. I think this gives us a really important data point and a really important moment to understand what we're going to need moving forward. But obviously, our more immediate focus is technical, understanding exactly how this happened, why the redundancies and the backups that were built into the system were not able to prevent the level of disruption that we saw today, and to make sure that we have 100% clarity on any and all steps that are needed so that it can't happen again. I think we need for the next 5 years to make sure that FAA has everything that they need in terms of system.
Okay, so what you just heard there is what we call McKenzie talk. So this guy, he got his MBA, and everybody I talk to who has their MBA, like, I obviously run a business, right? And I got family with MBAs, and I'll be like, or I know a lot of people with MBAs, and I'm like, what would you do with my business? How would you get it off the ground? And they don't fucking know. Like, none, like they don't know. They just know how to say the right. You get your MBA, I swear to God, you just learned the buzzwords. You heard a bunch of them right there. Data point. That was his big thing. Oh yeah, we're gonna work on the data points, and like I'm up here in my suit and I'm using my hands, and I know what I'm fucking talking about. And he doesn't know shit. He doesn't know how to get the planes off the ground. He doesn't know how to fucking do an oil change. He's the department. The dude took off 6 months for paternity leave, and we didn't even know. Remember, there was all those cargo ships off the coast of Santa Barbara early on in the presidency. I mean, it's like this happens all the time now. And if you go to the DOT on Twitter, all they tweet about is equity, 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 equity. It's a fucking joke. We're being run by children. This is the most incompetent, retarded administration in American history. And you know who hasn't tweeted about this? Or how about the classified document? You know who hasn't tweeted about that once? Michael Bashlos doesn't have shit to say about it today. Haven't heard from him. Haven't heard from any of these people about this. However, they have heard from some people who are attempting to kind of like Biden-splain why this isn't a big deal. Let's listen to a congressman from Georgia here by the name of Hank Johnson. Let's see what he's got to say. So before we get into Hank Johnson, what Hank Johnson is most known for is his thoughts on Guam. This guy's been in Congress since the beginning of time, and he's got some thoughts about Guam. Let's see what he has to say.
Island that at its widest level is what, 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
He's like,
my fear
why don't you just Google it?
The whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
What? The island will tip over?
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
The whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Okay.
We
These are the people, and this is why when all these people talked about democracy is going to end, democracy's at stake, I'm like, and like, I'm waiting for the bad news. I think democracy is extremely overrated, And I think our founding fathers did too. And that's why they set up a constitutional republic, which I think is being generous as well. Like when you have democracy, that's what you get. That guy wins every 2 years by a lot. Like I bet you if I go to Hank Johnson election results, let's see how he does. Hank Johnson election results. Okay. I'm going to go over. I mean, I bet you no one runs against him. That would be my guess. Okay. In the most recent election, Hank Johnson won with 78% of the vote. That is how, like, not even fucking close. He did have a Republican challenger who got a whopping 21%. In 2020, he got 80.1%. In 2018, 79%. 2016, 76%, way down. Nobody ran against him in 2014. 2012, 74%. So he's actually doing better over time. He's doing better over time. So that guy, like, that's why I think democracy is a little bit overrated. That guy will never be challenged. He gets to have that seat for as long as he wants, and he's literally retired it. He's the stupidest motherfucker on earth. He thinks an island can tip over like a fucking boat, like a goddamn rowboat in open water. And this is what, and now here's his, so how is he going to Biden explain the document thing away? Here's his thoughts on that.
My response to it all is that alleged classified documents showing up allegedly in the possession of Joseph Biden. You know, I mean, there's so much that needs to be investigated, and that's what I call for, is for everything to be investigated. But I'm suspicious of the timing of it.
What?
I'm also aware of the fact that things can be planted on people.
What? Planted?
Places and things can be planted.
Planted?
Things can be planted in places.
What?
And then discovered conveniently. That may be what has occurred here. I'm not ruling that out, but I'm open in terms of.
I'm not really, like, they're already. This is the same guy, by the way, who proposed legislation that would force companies like Twitter and Facebook to do more to stop conspiracy theories and disinformation because they're dangerous. And he's up here talking about this shit was planted in Biden's garage. What? I got to see the Biden Corvette commercial. Have you guys seen this Biden Corvette video? Let me see this. There's a campaign video. This is all him just doing. I want to see the Biden Corvette campaign. Is this the one?
Kidding, I'm not kidding.
Look at this.
So,
dude, there they are.
Excited about it.
There's boxes of documents right there. He's like trying to be Joe Cool. He's like, look at me. Look at me, Jack. I got my cool aviator shades here, and we're gonna. What? I'm
kidding. I'm
I
not
can
kidding.
still drive.
So,
dude, there's boxes of documents right there.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
An hour. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding.
That's too good. That's too good. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Now, you got to see the hens on. I hate to even bring up. First of all, here's Nancy Pelosi's take on it. So let's check out her take.
Classified documents.
First, this is asking Nancy Pelosi about the classified documents on the way out of something. Just look at her.
Keeping classified documents.
What?
But Pelosi just a few months ago had a lot to say about former President Trump's top secret stash at Mar-a-Lago.
Believe in the rule of law, and that's what our country is about, and no person is above the law, not even the President of the United States, not even a former President of the United States.
We did talk to some Democrats who are downplaying the whole thing and defending Biden.
So they said they found them there.
Right. Do you think that poses a national security threat?
No,
Why not?
because I don't think so.
classified documents.
Oh my God. You have to hate, as much as you have to hate Nancy Pelosi, you have to respect her lack of giving a fuck about anything. And you almost wish we had people like that on our team. Like there's this guy, George Santos, you may have seen him on the news. He's a newly elected New York Republican in Congress. And he's basically a pathological liar. 𝗪𝐿cy Gabbard destroyed him. He's lied about everything. And some Republicans are being like, he should step down. It's like, this is why we lose. Like, if I'm them, I just do what Nancy Pelosi does. Just don't answer questions. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. That's all you got to do. Just be ridiculous. Like, they're so ridiculous. That's Jim Clyburn, the black guy that was walking up the stairs. He's been in Congress since the beginning of time in South Carolina. He's just like, whatever. Fucking, yeah, but you said it was a big deal with Trump. It's not a big deal now. Yep. That's what I said. And then that's it. It does, because it doesn't matter, because he wins with 80% of the vote every time. So it doesn't fucking matter. And Nancy Pelosi wins with 80% of the vote every time. So it doesn't matter. I mean, the vast majority of the 435 representatives in this country are never challenged because, like in Massachusetts, we have 9 congressional districts. None of them are challenged because you can't win them as a Republican. They're way too overwhelmingly blue, and you're just fucked. There's like 4 districts in all of New England that are up for grabs ever. Currently, again, 21 congressional districts in New England. All of them held by Democrats currently. I thought we were going to flip a couple. We lost them all. We lost New Hampshire 1, New Hampshire 2, Rhode Island 2, Connecticut 5, and Maine 2. We lost them all. But the vast majority are like Nancy Pelosi's and Jim Clyburn's district where no one's going to challenge them anywhere. So, so we got a couple more clips. Now, let's check out The View, what they have to say. They're really smart people over there. So this is what they said yesterday about it.
That no, what you just said is right. That there are differences in what happened.
Yes, but the others are not good.
Well, we all know that Trump is a liar and a thief. You know, we know that. So it's not that big a jump to say that he obstructed and he lied. We don't think that Biden is a liar and a thief, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. That's partly what's going on. But what I
wait, what? So basically, not that this woman's opinion matters that much, but it kind of does, because she's on a show that millions of white housewives across the country watch every day, and this is where they get their politics from. And this is just what they believe, and this is the things that they say, and they're just like, oh, well, it's different this time because Donald Trump's bad, obviously. We know he's bad. But Biden we know is good. So it's probably not true. And this is what they say they say this part out loud.
also is going on, no matter what the truth of it is, will be, they will spin it. Bubblehead and Marjorie Taylor and that crowd, Matt Gaetz, you think they're not going to spin this, that it's just as bad as Trump? And so the lie gets out there, people believe it, just like that Donaldson person, whatever his name is.
Byron.
What's his name? Byron Donalds. I saw him also. He was at the fight on the floor too, wasn't he?
He was nominated for speaker a number of times.
By 2 people.
Yeah. He's the new darling.
In one of the 15 rounds.
But I mean, what I'm just saying is that the lying has been so invasive, so ubiquitous that no one will believe the truth anymore, and that you can put that at the feet of Donald Trump, who started the lying.
So it's all he started the lying. No politician ever lied before Donald Trump. They were all honest.
But,
now here's them to here they are today. Here's what they got to say today. Check this out.
What I think, I've never seen a luckier person than Donald Trump. Just as we're this close to getting him, but somehow these documents appear.
But here's the thing:
somehow,
Biden is wrong to have done this. He was in office for 40 years.
Let's find out what this is first. Now, again, one of the things that gets me crazy is before we know, it's already been spun a specific way. I don't want to see that. I want to see someone explain to me, how it's possible that after all this time, nobody knew This, because to me, if you're missing classified information, I don't mean to laugh, but in my house, if stuff is missing, I know it's missing.
Does it feel like Oppo research to you? Does it feel like the Republicans are behind it?
It's not. It did originally, but I'm sorry, but not now. Because one of the things he's saying is that, you know, some of the locations where the docs may have been shipped in the transition may have gotten taken and put, but still.
I have to be perfectly, if I'm being perfectly honest about this, like blatantly honest, I don't care at all about classified documents in Joe Biden's garage. I can't bring it. I can't try to manufacture outrage over that. I just don't care. I don't care. But I have to, I have to pretend to care though, because that's just how the game is played now, unfortunately. Like they go after our guy for this. And he was our guy. He went after, not just Trump, they went after the party for it. You know, like they would have gone after any president that did, any Republican. And so now we have to pretend this is a big deal because that's just how the game is played now. They started playing the game this way, and now we have to play by their stupid rules because we got them by the balls. I mean, how can you not? We'd be stupid not to. We'd be stupid not to. So yeah, I mean, imagine listening to those hens cluck all day. There's people that actually do that. That's fucking wild, in my opinion. Absolutely wild. So, okay. Anyway, I think that is about it. I really don't have that much more tonight. Today was going to be, like I said, it was supposed to be about, I wanted to compare it to other historical gaffes, but nothing compares. Nothing will ever compare to the Corvette fucking, I mean, I can't believe he said that with a straight face. Peter 𝗬𝘂 was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's dude's just leaving our classified documents next to his Corvette. I saw somebody in the comments earlier say that they think that this was, and Tucker said it too earlier, that they think that this is like, you know, putting the knives in the back of Biden, Democrats doing this because like he did something to piss him off. He is the favorite in Vegas to win the nomination again, and that they want to prevent that from happening. I wish they would. But I don't think it's that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's what we said last time. You know, we said that last time. I voted for Biden in the primary because I was independent. I could vote in Republican or Democrat, and there was no Republican primary. So my philosophy was I want the weaker candidate to win. I considered Bernie the stronger candidate. I did because he is lucid, like he can speak. And I'm like, Biden is so fucking retarded that, and I think this was before COVID, we had our primary. So I'm like, there's no way Biden can win, obviously. So I voted for Biden. And I think he won Massachusetts. And then COVID happened. And they allowed this guy to just hide in the fucking basement. And we didn't get to see any of the gaps. And honestly, if we did, I don't think it would matter anyway. I don't think it would matter. Like, dude, Pennsylvania just elected an ogre retard to the Senate. Like, none of this fucking matters. Like, no matter how stupid they are, how ridiculous they are, none of it matters. If I could do it again, I'd vote for Bernie. I would have voted for Bernie. But here we are. And that, at least it's funny. You know, like if Kamala became president, it would be like when Obama was president, there was like, he's not funny. It's like, this guy sucks. He's divisive, whatever. At least Biden's unintentionally funny. So we got that going for us, right? At least we got some humor out of this, right? Because I don't care about the classified documents. It's just, I can't pretend to be like, that outrages me. What outrages me is like equity, like the Department of Transportation shit. That pisses me off. The fact that planes aren't going around and the DOT is tweeting out this bullshit about this and that these fucking trannies are getting invited to the White House because they're on TikTok and they're up there talking about how they want to give gender hormones to kids that's the shit that pisses me off. I don't give a fuck about classified documents next to his Corvette. That doesn't bother me. It's the other shit. It's all the other shit he brings along. The classified documents are just like, well, I guess this is what sells. If that's what it takes to get rid of them then. Whatever. That's my philosophy on that. All right. Anybody have any questions they want to ask? Fire away. Captain Kerry's here. Dr. Oz would have been good. Anyone would have been better than that dude. I think DNG is right. Gavin Newsom is who they want. Of course he is. He looks like a fucking Ken doll. He's a fucking joke, obviously. But he's lucid, which is a big upgrade for the Democrats. He would get murdered by DeSantis, though. Like, murdered. Yeah, so like I said, I'll be in Boston tomorrow with my guy in the early afternoon with Billboard Chris tomorrow morning. So let me see what I got here. If anybody is in there, I'll be on the Boston Common area. See you then. Let's see. What's he tweeting about? So Chris is going to be at Boston Children's Hospital on. Wait, did Andy No block me? Dude, Andy No fucking blocked me. Andy fucking No blocked me. What a bitch. What a fucking bitch. Oh my God, what a fucking tool bag. I hate this dude so much. I'm going to tweet that out after this is done. Because Billboard Chris shared something that he tweeted. And he just says, this is outrageous. And I can't even see it because he's blocked me. He goes, I'm driving up to Boston for tomorrow's unveiling of the new Martin Luther King Jr. statue, joined by Senator Warren and Mayor Wu and other political luminaries who don't know what a woman is. Then on Saturday, I'll be protesting outside Boston Children's Hospital starting at 11 a.m. So I will be there with him as well. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? Andy No is a fucking pussy. You're right about that. Are you going to go live? I will definitely be doing some impromptu lives. Definitely 100%. Thoughts on that Big Daddy? What Big Daddy? Thoughts on what? Thoughts on Brady versus Cowboys? NFC is up for grabs. You can take Jalen Hurts on the Niners, quarterback versus Brady. So me and my kids sat down and we did our whole NFL playoff predictions. I'll give you mine. Here's what I predict is going to win. NFC. This is really easy this year. I feel like it's at least the first round games. The first round games kind of suck. Like there's a big gap this year between the top teams in each conference and the rest, where I feel like it used to be more competitive. Like, for instance, in the AFC. Let's start with the AFC, actually. Bills, Dolphins. Like, is there anyone in the world that thinks the Dolphins can win that game without Tua? No. No chance. Okay. Bengals, Ravens. Is there anyone in the world that thinks that the Ravens can win that game without Lamar Jackson? Even if they did, I don't think they could. The Bengals. Of course, the Bengals. And you have to wonder if you're a Ravens fan too. Like, are they excited about having that guy as their franchise quarterback? This is the second year in a row now it's happened. The dude just gets hurt at the most important times. You can't count on him because he runs and it's going to keep happening. I don't know if they know this. It's going to keep happening the way he plays. So, of course, the only competitive game is going to be the Chargers against the Jaguars. And I think the Chargers are going to win that game. I think it's going to be a very good game. I like the Chargers. But in that case, the Chargers would then go on to play the Chiefs. And there's no way you could pick against the Chiefs in that one. They kill the Chargers all the time. No matter how hyped up the Chargers are, they always beat them. So I think the Chiefs are going to win that one. And then I think in the other one, that is the game of the century. Whoever wins the Bills-Bengals game, I think is going to win the Super Bowl. That's my prediction right there. And it's unfairly at Buffalo. That game should be at a neutral field. If they're playing the AFC Championship at a neutral field, that one should be at a neutral field too, but it's not. So I think the Bills are going to win that game. And I think the Bills are going to smoke the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. especially in Atlanta on a neutral field. So I think Bills AFC, NFC, and that's not because of the DeMar shit either. It's because they're the best team. You saw that Josh Allen throw to number 16, whoever the fuck that guy was, against the Patriots was just like where he like pointed. He's like, go, dude. It's like, how do you stop? That's greatness. Like, how do you stop greatness like that? He's so fucking good. Anyway, so I like the Bills. NFC, the first game, the 49ers against the Seahawks. Is there anyone that thinks the Seahawks are going to win that game, even with Brock Purdy, who seems fine? Of course not. 49ers are going to win that game. That's what I mean by lack of competition. The best game, I think, will be all the other two games are okay. Giants against Vikings, because nobody believes in the Vikings, and I, including myself, even though they beat Buffalo and whatever, and I don't believe in the Vikings. But the Vikings are, I think they will win that game, but the Giants are frisky. The Giants are frisky. I like the Vikings though. And then Cowboys against Bucks. I think everybody wants to take the Bucks because it just seemed, wouldn't that be classic Cowboys and classic Tom Brady at the same time? Tom Brady's never lost to the Cowboys. And it's like, this is like, everybody's down on Tom Brady now, you know, like this is it. He's done, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't that be fitting? Isn't it all playing out like it's supposed to, where like the Cowboys are the choking team. They always fucking choke in the playoffs now. And Mike McCarthy will blow it again. It seems like it's written that way, right? Like the Bucks will win. But I don't know. I just think the Cowboys are going to win. It's just a feeling. I think the Cowboys are a good team. I think they're a much better team than the Bucks. I think they're going to win that game. So I think the Cowboys, Vikings, and Niners win, and which means the Cowboys will go on to play the Eagles. Dude, the Eagles kind of suck right now. Low-key suck. I like the Cowboys to upset them. And then the other one, I don't think the fucking Vikings have a shot in hell against the 49ers because they are a wagon, and I like the Niners. And so that would give us a NFC championship, NFC championship game. It's like the 90s all over again, Niners Cowboys. And, of course, I like the Niners in that one. And then that would give us a Niners-Bills Super Bowl. Talk about the 90s again. And in that case, that would be 3 Super Bowl losses in a row for the Niners, or 5 in a row for the Bills. And I like the Bills. I like the Bills against the Niners. So that was my pick. My kids picked, my daughter picked Bengals over Cowboys. My son picked Eagles over Chiefs. That was his pick. So we'll see what happens. All right. Any questions you got? Any other questions you guys have? All right, I guess we'll call it a night, guys. Thank you for Mac. First of all, Mac is the guy. Stop it. Fuck off, 7-pounder. I love you, but fuck off. All right. Anyway, we'll see you guys. Tune in tomorrow. Be doing some impromptu lives, I'm sure. Love you guys. Peace to you, bum crease. See ya. Thanks for supporting me. Love you all. Bye.